Okay, let me ask you a zinger then, Nelly. What's the right amount that an agent should be thinking about spending on a website to get a top class website? What should they have in their mind to spend?
So again, it really depends on how big they are. So that question would be, the answer should be different if you're one brancher that covers, say, 1 to 3 locations. So then if you're a 20 branch agency and you want to cover 60 locations, because there's so much more work and functionality, etc. So it's really down to the aspiration of the business. Our websites start from £1,500 setup and £150 per month, which includes support and maintenance. Roughly for an established business with optimization, because we create a lot of copy as well, specific pages, we have specific structure, everything is with marketing in mind. Roughly, if you're investing in a marketing ready website, you're probably more towards the £5,000 to £8,000 mark. If you want a bespoke website, you're probably looking 10, 15,000 and up.
So those, on the face of it, those sound biggish figures, but actually, for what is the most prominent digital marketing tool you have, that is 24/7, 365, that is viewed more than anything else, you're not going to get a better ROI on anything else you do, are you?
No, absolutely. I mean, if you think about how much you pay for your rent, for your office, and how many people actually visit your office versus how many people visit your website, I'm sure that your rent is a year. It's probably at least £20,000, right?
Nelly, I've always loved that analogy of comparing your website to an office. Seeing it in that respect, looking at the visitors it gets. If you can track the ROI, as you should, of course, be tracking the ROI. If you could attribute that just to the website, it would change business owners' views, wouldn't it, of that investment in the website overnight?
Yes, absolutely, very much. I mean, it's proven by the fact that there's so many agents now working from home, from serviced offices. They don't necessarily have the high street presence, and they're doing just as well as the ones that are having the high street presence from a business perspective. And the reason why is because the battle is not who is on the high street anymore. The battle is who is going to get the digital share of the market. And you'll find that the ones that are ranking for most of their locations, the ones that are doing the marketing on the channels where the personas are, where your customers are, the ones that are with the most touch points and automated marketing funnels, they're the ones that are scooping most of the business, because it's all about touch points as well. That's another aspect of it, where again, flexible websites like WordPress are really, really helpful, because things aren't linear. People don't just go to Google, do one search, click once and convert. That almost never happens. It's very, very rare. Typically, there are several touch points. So what you might do is you might Google, you might click here, you might click there. Then if people have remarketing, they'll start seeing your banner advertising, then they might click on that. Or maybe 3 days later, they'll see your post on Facebook, or maybe they will receive your email if they've signed up for something else. So all of those channels, they all work together. And the aim of all of this is to create that relationship with the brand. And so I spoke earlier about human-to-human relationship. Obviously, that goes when a negotiator is really in touch with someone specifically. But there is a relationship with the brand as well. And when you think of a brand, a estate agency brand, people tend to have an opinion of that brand for whatever reason. Maybe you like their colors or you don't like their colors. Maybe you've seen their boards way too many times, or you've heard things about them, whatever it might be. And so again, you have established brands and new businesses or businesses that are not so well known. That makes a massive difference as well. Established brands need to work not as hard to get the conversions when they do marketing campaigns, because people know them. And if there is a good positive trust already, it's just a case of taking it to the next step. Brands that are not so well known need to work twice as hard. So actually, you need to spend even more money than the brands that are known, contrary to what actually is happening, because there's a lot of smaller 1, 2, 3 branch agencies that are up against the bigger guys with much smaller budgets. And so that's a very, very hard game to win. So if you're going to win that game, you really need to pay more attention to being very specific to your area, specific to the personas you're looking to attract, specific to the content that you produce, that it's for the kind of customers that you're looking to attract. specific with the calls to action, with the nurturing systems. And that's the bit that the bigger guys are not very good at. Because they're big, because they're looking at the bigger picture, they can't be so good at the location
They can't be
specific.
nimble, they can't be focused, can they?
Yes, and that's exactly where the slightly smaller agents can win. But the problem is that they're not really paying attention to those things nearly as much as they should.